chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she's 21, I said alright. If we gon' be grown, speak your mind. I just wanna chill and vibe. 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 So baby, turn up. You know who the gon' turn up. Turn up. Gon' turn up. You know who the gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. You know who the gon' turn up. Gon' turn up. Baby, turn up. You know who the gon' turn up. No, I'm serious. Let's go on the show. Come on, Mom. Come on, Mom. Only good vibes.
Turn up. Yeah. What's good, Sippers? This is your boy, Buddha. And over there is the lovely
Baby.
And we are Sipping in Conversation.
Hey. So, before we get the show started, thank you. Buddha's going to do a lot of talking on our behalf.
No, I'm not. But okay.
Yes, he is. Because Baby, let's get into it, is sipping on a hot toddy tonight. Okay? So that's what Baby is going to be doing. And so she got to come in. Her voice going to be a little scratchy and ratchy. But I'm here, okay? And I'm going to be present. But Buddha's going to do a lot of talking.
Negative. But okay. I'm going to do my best. And Baby is going to do her best.
Buddha going to do a lot of talking. And he already know it.
No.
He actually been doing homework, y'all.
No, not really. Not really.
He ready for y'all. So talk about last week, Buddha.
Hey, well, first of all, I like to say, hey, Brenda. And I like to say, hey, Cuz.
And hey, Larica.
Hey, Larica. See, I got a chance to hang out with my cousin Michelle this weekend. Mm-hmm. We celebrated a good time. And I'm going to get with you after the show because we got a lot to talk about.
Why are you looking at me?
Because I'm looking at you because you're so beautiful.
Last week.
But either way, what we talked about last week. Well, last week we had a special guest, Latoya. And her toy box, right? And what she wanted to talk about was how to spice it up, how to spice up your life. And we kind of talked about sexting and a few other things. She mentioned Listerine packs while performing. Was it that word? Catalingus. And fellatio, right?
It can go for the man and the woman.
You know,
pleasing your man,
pleasing your
mate with Listerine strips.
And how, you know, maybe spice it up, change the way you do your routine, shake it up a little bit, role play, all that other stuff, right? Get down and dirty and freaky if you can. You know, tighten up. Basically, right? So we talked about that, and she was very informative. You know, she talked about her personal experiences to a degree,
right?
And how she got to a point where she became a sex therapist, which is cool. You know, we got to have her back on the show one more time.
Yeah,
I got to change up the game, throw a little monkey wrench in her plan.
Buddha. Hey, Keisha.
What we learned was this: that nothing is going up towards my booty area. That's a virgin there. We're not putting any, butt plugs, none of that in my booty.
Why?
Because
you can do the butt plug.
No. What's the difference between butt plug and like not too much? Next thing you know, you start out small. Fingers? You start out small. You start finger. Then you go to butt plug. Then it goes to like vibrators and dildos. And next thing you know, somebody stick a dick in your ass. And that, my friend.
Well, no. That's because you want
negative.
That's first of all, men and those that do actively participate and enjoy anal activities.
No, hold on.
One does not lead to the other. Jesus Christ.
Anal beads, start small out with anal beads. Oh, okay.
Well, I don't care for it, period. So I don't need no assistance. I don't care how wonderful of a feeling it could be.
Well,
I'm good if it never happens again, ever. Okay? So, but to whom it may concern, you be great, all y'all be great. You see this? Hey, I'm just saying, right? But definitely men that choose this, that may hear this later, it ain't funny. It's funny, but it ain't funny. You are not starting small because your big whatever you want to call it, your big show is to have a penis in your butt.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day,
that you are not preparing for a penis in your butt.
Well, hey, listen, my mind went all the way left. All right, it started here, and I said, "Well, shit."
Stop hitting the table.
It started here, and it went beep, 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 beep. You see how the progression went? So you kill it from the beginning. You don't even get started.
Also down there.
We also talked about.
Sorry, y'all.
We also talked about cock rings.
See, go there. Yeah, talk about that.
We talked about cock rings, and does that really work? Like, does it really prolong the nut? I should say, right? Does it prolong the nuts? And then we also talk about vibrating cock rings, right? Vibrating cock rings. Does that actually work? Does a woman feel real dick pulsating with the vibration? We also talked about the Buddha the Buddha starter kit. You know, the Buddha starter kit
starter kit.
Yeah, the Buddha starter kit, sex starter kit. And it has sex dice in it, a feather, some hot motion lotion, couple condoms.
Okay.
Couple condoms. And what up?
It had way too much look in there, y'all.
Because, like, growing up as a kid, I wish I had the sex starter kit. Like, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want a sex starter kit? So check it out. Sex dice. For those who don't understand, if you don't know what you're doing, sex dice work. Rolling. Kiss, nipple. One say kiss, the other one say nipple. Go right on in. It gives you these instructions. You get your condoms. If you're a teenager or something, maybe you may not want to go magnums. You may not be there yet. You don't know. But it is what it is. You play with it. Feathers, because, you know, blindfold, lay on her back, use a little feather, you know what I'm saying? That's something simple right there.
Stop.
What? Stop what?
When you are 18 and older, this is when your dad will give you your kit, boys and girls, okay?
Why are we lying to ourselves, man?
I'm not lying.
Women, I mean, these little girls out here giving head in bathrooms. What the fuck you talking about? This shit is going down. They know more about sex than we do now.
Okay. And that does not make it right.
I didn't say it made it right.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, why are we going to act like it ain't going on and wait till 18?
Because we need to be doing better parenting to give our children better information on these things, not starter kits on how to do the shit.
Well, I mean, that's what the starter kit is. It's educating them on those same things. Like, I'm not telling you to
talking
do
about
it.
pleasing them.
You're right. Well, if you're going to go out there and do it, you better do it right.
Oh, God.
If you're going to do it, be the best at it.
Be safe.
And be safe, right? That's why condoms is in there.
Okay.
Starter kit.
A lot of condoms should be in there.
Okay? Of course.
And a book.
And don't get them motherfucking Durexes.
On a pregnancy test.
Don't get them Durexes.
Scare them. Y'all should have a full-fledged conversation prior to this starter kit going out. And you parents will know that your child or children are ready.
Like, I'm
when
saying,
you give it to them. Not they come to you. Well, if they come to you, then they may be ready. But at the same time, open the door for conversation and be real about it. Yes.
I feel it. And you're making absolutely good points.
Shut up.
But let's ask the real question here, right? Let's ask the real question. How many teenagers are going to be like, Mom? Oh, teenage men like, Mom, that ass is fine. I just tapped that. We okay. Everything's okay. Are they going to have that conversation with you?
It depends. I don't know. If I am the ghost, so, if I am that mom, they may feel
I just never really
transparent to come to me. And if I've kept it real with them, being transparent with them about sex education, then I would feel compelled that my child or children would come to me when they are experiencing feelings. Okay. Now, if it's too much for me, or I may need some assistance, especially if it was my boy, I'm going to be like, call your uncle. Well, I'm going to call the uncle to come over and kind of, because I can't be a man. I can't give you that male talk.
So some people was like, what's going on?
Hey, Jory.
So somebody said, no starter kits, bro. Let me tell you this something there, somebody. If I would have had a starter kit when I was coming up as a teenager,
you'd have fucked it all up.
No.
Still.
No. Because listen. I mean,
yes,
Little Eddie got a little story to tell. It's going to be little.
Little Eddie would have fucked it up.
See, listen. I'm going to tell you what happened to me without a starter kit. And then you be the judge. So, instead of going out there and getting a condom, I thought I can make one. And I used a sandwich bag. It's a rubber bands. Versus.
I'm going to tell you why you did. Because you were too young, number one.
No, I thought I was too smart.
But you were too young to be even engaging or having your mind set on having sex. Because if you were older, you would have already been exposed.
First of all,
to those things. But when you are 8 years old and 10 years old out there humping.
Well, hold on, baby.
You
got to give me a little bit of credit. At least I did think
to cover the thing up. I think I remember on that lady that man had little something on his thing. Therefore, yeah.
He actually can't even. That's great. But listen, if I had that starter kit ready, bam. That would have never happened. Move that out of there. You know what I'm saying? I knew about the condoms.
So bad. Right. This your boy. Get your boy, Django.
Hey, listen. I was I guess at that moment I was too embarrassed to just go up to the cola store or go up to the store and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? We fucking, man. I need these condoms.
Because he was 8.
But at least I had the wherewithal. Wrong angle. Maybe I should have used a latex glove.
Maybe you should have waited.
Maybe
till your little pecker would eat.
Man, it's like cut the finger.
Would fit inside a condom, okay?
Hey man, listen.
Just say
I thought I was a black MacGyver. I'm serious.
Your pecker was
Yes.
The full disappointment would have been seeing your pecker inside of said condom.
What it? Because she didn't know no better.
Both of y'all. Mama should have whooped y'all ass.
Hey, I put that thing in, pop, right through the. I said, wait a minute, this ain't supposed to happen.
I know that much. Oh,
and why am I not feeling no flow to? I guess that was a cock ring before I knew it was cock ring and rubber band.
Because you got your little thing just sitting out there all small up, yo.
Like, hey, listen, I'm ready to do this thing, man. I'm saying. But
this is terrible. But
it's terrible, but listen, this is the life of Buddha, man. This is how he was growed up.
He grew it up.
I grew it up. Trying to outsmart the system the best way I can.
And how did that work out?
And be frugal with it. Listen,
how did that work out?
I'm going to use my mama's sandwich bag that she was going to give me. Everybody, the first time I went to eat pussy, I went down and put some, what was that, saran wrap? Saran wrap down there. Hey, listen, I don't want to touch this thing, but I'm going to put the saran wrap right here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my mouth on this thing and see how this thing works.
How'd that work out, Buddha?
Well, you know, I got the practice in, but
okay.
I didn't save the flavor. I was practicing safe sex. I'm just saying.
You done well. So, what are you sipping on, Buddha?
Oh, 20 grand.
You welcome.
Thank you, baby. And ginger ale.
Okay.
That's a drink of choice. Hey, yo, 20 grand. Holla at you, boy. I definitely rep you. I definitely rep your ass for sure.
And Rick Arnell.
Yeah.
For me, I have some lemon ginger tea with a splash of honey. And I, too, have some 20 grand inside of my hot toddy. Just for the record.
That's good.
Yes. Because we're going to be feeling better in the morning, okay? Baby got things to do.
Right. She just wanted to feel better about the weekend so she can really experience her whole weekend the way she wants to.
Right. I don't like that feeling. So we're going to shake the devil off. Shake the devil off. Okay. All right. So this week, okay, shout outs. Any shout outs?
Well, first thing I want to shout out to Sales Family and shout out my cousin who just got married this weekend. That's why.
The Sales Family?
Huh?
That ain't part of the Sales Family?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, shout out to him because he's the actual one that got married.
Gotcha.
Michael Sales.
All right.
And I was up in Philly for the first time. That was an experience of a lifetime because it was cold as hell. And this old Florida boy was in some 40-degree weather.
But you just experienced it when you was in New Jersey last year.
Yeah, well, I got sick.
Wedding.
I got sick.
Yeah.
But this time I didn't get sick because I came well prepared. And I got a chance to work. I got a chance to run those rocky steps. Got a chance to take a picture with the statue, right? And also I had a Philly cheesesteak, a real Philly cheesesteak.
If y'all didn't see me posted on the story on the story thing on Instagram, first of all, when his sister panned it and you see his face,
I was about to dog that bitch out.
He was looking like but, I just shook my head because I didn't go. I let him go and be great, y'all. Okay.
And then on top of that, right? So I got one discrepancy. One. So Philly fans or whoever's from Philly, I gotta say this. Invest in some seasonings, goddammit. I don't want to hear this shit about the type of meat. You know, it's about the meat. I don't want to hear that shit. Put some goddamn pepper and salt on that shit, all right? Throw a little garlic. Bam! I'm a Floridian. This is what I need. I need goddamn seasonings. They gave me a cheesesteak. And granted, it was okay, but I had to add I don't even eat ketchup. I had to put ketchup in it so I could get some goddamn salt.
First of all, you're not accustomed to it. Your palates are different because you saturated with salt and sweets.
Okay. All right.
So the people that are there or maybe it's the place you went to.
No, but listen, I'm not taking away from the experience. The experience was great. It did taste good. I just know I prefer salt, pepper, and a little garlic. Tighten up.
Well, could you have not asked them to put it on there? Why?
They didn't have it. They would a little slap me in the face like, "What is this sacrilege?" We don't put no.
Was it on the tables or anything?
No.
Maybe you should have went to another one, or was that the one that everybody recommended to go to?
And then they want to put cheese whiz on shit.
Cheese whiz?
Everything gotta have cheese whiz. Who eats canned cheese?
That wasn't that couldn't have been.
No, that's how they get down there.
Okay, so anybody that's listening to this, y'all, anybody from Philly area, Philly vicinity,
validate my story, please.
And also drop in the comments.
Oh, well, just so you know where I went.
Places to try that actually use real cheese.
I got mine with real cheese. Okay. So I went to Jim's.
Okay.
On the corner of South and I forgot what else, and Fourth and South. So it was great. Okay. Shout out to them.
Okay. Did you leave one of our cards?
Yeah.
You lied.
Yes, I did.
He was sweet. He was fast though.
Yeah, I did. But not at Jim's though. I left it at, I was talking, I was flirting with the little, see how that look on her face? I was flirting with the front desk clerks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I was like, I was marinating her in, finessing her up. And as I was finessing her up, pow! Hit her with the card. You know what I'm saying?
Which card did you give her? Did you give her the full body of us?
I gave her the whole. I only had our regular cards.
Why?
Because
you went to Philly and you didn't take our bigger cards.
I took the cards that I had in my wallet.
So you slipping on the game.
I ain't slipping on.
Throw the whole man away.
Oh, that's how it is. But at least I gave her, and she knew I was in a whole entire relationship.
They don't care.
That's how you feel. Women don't care.
They don't care.
Oh man.
Because if it was that serious of a relationship, why your woman ain't with you in Philly? I don't know. Anyway, so we talked about spicing it up and Buddha's experience and so forth and so on. Yeah. And this is about to get a little sticky. One, let's just go ahead and put the disclaimer out there. We are not professionals. We are not certified. Neither are we licensed. This is purely our opinion and or information that we have obtained from said internet.
Use a big word.
Obtain ain't a big word.
To me.
Okay.
Jones High School education.
Shabu.
It's great.
So, what are we talking about today, ladies and gentlemen? Sippers and the mamas and thems and so forth.
And what y'all sipping on?
Oh, I dropped that below too. But we talking about mental health.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just got serious.
Mental health.
How y'all gonna go from spicing it up to mental health? Because it's all important. You understand what I'm saying? Your mental state of being can potentially affect your willingness and desire to spice it up in your relationship. So this is important.
I like how you just married and marriage it up.
Just saying. But it also affects so many other areas as well. You know what I'm saying? For example, well, first of all, Buddha.
Yeah.
Because you wrote all your stuff down. I'm not gonna let you not get your point, get your time. Make sure you can read your own handwriting.
That's terrible. But no.
What is mental disorder?
What is mental disorder?
Mental illness.
Or mental illness. It's a behavioral.
Hey, precious.
Or it's behavioral or mental pattern that causes significant distress or impairment of a personal functioning. Yes, I said that. And I didn't stop. One time, Jones High School education, get up. Bam!
I had to have him practice, okay?
No. Listen. Oh, she coming for me. So, after saying that definition, I'll say it one more time for you guys.
For the people in the Bible, so slow it down because you got it now.
Behavioral or mental.
Come on, guys. Do it better so they can understand.
Listen, I'm pausing between words so they can understand.
Yeah, but you using talk like regular people, crazy self. That's my baby.
Behavioral or mental patterns that causes significant distress or impairment of personal functioning.
Got it.
All right.
So what does that mean, Buddha?
What does that mean is...
What causes it?
What causes it? Well, what causes it could be potentially environmental stresses, genetic factors, or biochemical imbalances, or a combination of the three.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, that was really great.
All right.
So we could dive into that if you want. Like, we can talk about, like, what are some of the things that could be considered environmental stresses? You know, maybe like...
Told y'all he was going to do all the talking.
Maybe like postpartum.
No.
No?
Environmental stressors.
Oh, like you get beat. You was always
like
being sexually...
living in a area that...
Being molested.
No, like living in an area where there's high crime.
That's environmental. Or...
That would be an environment, and you know... So when you come and go out of your house, you don't know if you're going to get shot, stabbed, robbed. Those are stress. That will cause you to be stressed.
I was thinking about like you living in a house with somebody who is molesting you would be an environmental situation or stress, meaning that it could be your aunt, your auntie, your uncle, because this is prevalent in black homes, right? And urban homes, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying at a high level.
It's at a high level.
Yeah, but that's we're talking about
overall,
right? Environmental stressors. So what will cause that? Living in an environment, that too. Living in an environment that's hostile, you know, and that would incorporate
being poor. And not and not knowing how to deal with it. Like if you have a family that just don't know how to make ends meet, they're living on the street, you run from house to house, that could be environmental stress. Right. Not having friends, not really, you know, not even that. Like you could be a military brat and you can never really settle in on certain places. So you never really got a chance to have any friends. And the only friends you had was your parents, and that could be sad. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so. And then what else you have?
Genetic factors. Now this was a little tough, but I figured some things out a little bit. You know, schizophrenia. That could be a genetic thing. Diabetes could be a cause of genetic or biochemical imbalance, right? Obesity, high blood pressure. You know, things like that could cause these different, because me and Baby had this conversation of this debate about what could be genetic factors. I think high blood pressure is one of them, because if your family suffers from high blood pressure, then you would have a high risk of having high blood pressure or diabetes or schizophrenia or all these different bipolar disease. You know what I'm saying? You have a high risk of having it because it's historically in your family. Not saying you catch it, it can miss you, right? But what do you got, baby? You're doing some research over there.
Yeah, because I ain't really sold on the genetic factors. That aspect, that because grandmama and them had diabetes or high blood pressure, that I'm going to have it. I'm not completely sold on that. And the reason being, I feel that in today's time, with modern technology and so many available resources that were not available for those before me, they may have been products of their environment. They may have endured those things that cause genetic disorders and so forth, and but I now have a choice in how I eat, how I take care of myself to prevent. There's more available preventative things that grandmama and them did not have. So that's why I said I'm not completely sold on something being genetics. However, there are things, and when it comes down to like things like diabetes, diabetes and high blood pressure and stuff like that. But what I do know, I do feel from a genetic perspective, like autism. Now we're getting more into something that could be a genetic disorder where there was a mix up somewhere with the X and the Y chromosome. Y'all share, or sickle cell disease, because if two people have the trait, that get together, instead of one being a carrier and one having the trait, then you know what I'm saying, they both got, now the child gets it. So that's different. Now that's something that you can't avoid. But you got to know you are a carrier, because two carriers create a trait.
All I'm saying is, so like, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm adding that knowledge.
When we're talking about from a genetic perspective.
I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm taking that knowledge you got, which is great. Phenomenal, baby. Did a great job. But I'm going to ask you this question, like, so you're going to eat right, exercise, because you don't want these things. Why is it wouldn't the fear of not wanting to have diabetes because you knew it's in your family, wouldn't that be a issue or reason why you're doing these things in the first place?
The fear has to consume you to the point where you're excessive about it, and then so you're minimizing and eliminating. Mm-hmm. But if you're just doing your atypical preventative things, mm-hmm. from a just functioning perspective, right, then no, the fear is not going to trigger me to be to become anything else. It's I would be more in fear of the environmental hazards where, like I say, I can't come and go into my home, mm-hmm. without thinking about stepping on a needle, or getting shot, or somebody snatching me and raping me. Like those, that would be more of a fear.
For you?
Not me, not in my. Now I'm just saying, like, when I'm thinking about a fear.
A fear of death is a fear of death, though, right? And how it comes, it comes. Like if your mom, your dad, your granddaddy died from diabetes, and you don't want to be the next one in line, that's a fear. If that's the case, I'm not. Me personally, mm-hmm. I'm not. I can fear too many things, so that's the least of my fear, because there is something this is something I can control. Yeah. I'm not fearing me personally. Yeah, you can.
I don't have fear for things that are within my control. Wow. So again, when I hear genetic disorders,
that's something you can't change.
Right. And that's why I use autism as an example, or sickle cell.
That's cool.
Those are things from a genetic perspective that you kind of get by default. But diabetes and those type of things, hypertension, oh no.
Okay.
All right, what's the next one?
Biochemical imbalances.
I was torn on that, and I guess because, like I said, I'm not educated enough on what the biochemical imbalance is, but when I looked it up, because that's what baby do, they're talking about the things that fuel the body. So when the body is not getting, like for an example, you're not getting enough of carbs, and so your body it's not getting basically it's not getting the carbs or proteins or whatever, something like that that you need, that makes up what about the biochemical of the body. And there's like 4 different things that make up the biochemical of our body. So when the body is deficient in one of those areas, you now obviously there's an imbalance. No differently than if I take these glasses off.
Damn, you sexy.
The imbalance that I now face is, first of all, I can't fucking see. Okay, I can see, but I can't see clearly, right? But then, you know, they talk about like if you are you got the radio on, but you trying to see.
I'm trying to hear.
You know, trying to see you on your way somewhere, but you got the radio on and it told you to turn left, and you're like, huh, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you are without something, there's going to be a deficiency in that area, so I can see where the imbalance comes into play.
So I'm gonna just throw this out there because a lot of people these days in our generation, we suffer from like insomnia and stuff like lack sleep deprivation, right? Would that be considered something that could alter your chemical imbalance? Not getting enough rest?
Yeah,
not getting enough oxygen
most
to
definitely. But then we now have to look deeper into the surface of what's causing you to not sleep. What's triggering that? What's the cause for the effect? Right. So, you know, is it that you been in the military, or were you in an environment where you basically couldn't sleep at night because you didn't know if somebody was going to come in and kick the door, you know what I'm saying, all those things. So you grew up in that hostile, and that's why I also said there's a combination of all 3 or 1 or 2 things. Right. So one kind of triggers the other.
Okay. Well, somebody says
coming out of slavery, I don't like talking about slavery because that's 400 years ago. But coming out,
it's still prevalent today.
I mean, we do have modern day slavery. But okay, coming out of slavery, just like coming back from war, you have to go through mental evaluations. We never had that chance, so we passed our fears. We passed our fears. Gotcha. And that's one thing that I kind of talked about too with the parenting. All right, so fast forward. Types of mental illnesses.
Hold on, baby. Let's not fast forward.
No, I mean, because it'll tie back. It'll tie back. There are different types of mental illnesses. Because I don't want to, we want to, but we're gonna come back to it.
I'm coming back to that one.
No, we'll come back to it, but it's just how it'll come back. Trust me. So basically, when we talked earlier, when we were looking at like types of the different types, like there's some of the top 5, like, that's out there. Post-traumatic stress, OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder.
Get that mental illness checked. Right. OCD. Right. Get that checked.
There's several types. There's different types of anxiety. Depression, of course, that's like up there. Bipolar, schizophrenia, dementia, and then like I said, the different types of anxiety would be panic disorder, phobias, social anxiety disorder. So it's all kind of coupled together, right?
Right.
So one of the things that I was talking about is how can the mental illness affect relationships? And with that, one of the things that I mentioned was about parenting. So and how we parent, how the relationship, having a existing mental illness, whether it's diagnosed or undiagnosed, how it affects the mental illness affects relationships, and again, not just dating, and in particular with parenting. So how I'm rounding it back to what you're saying, Will, is that coming out of slavery, you're right, there was no such thing as mental illness. But what we've learned over the course of our lives is that in order for something to be understood, it has to be defined as something, right? You know that there's something off. You know that, whether it's diagnosed clinically or not, something's off. And then when it never gets treated or it never gets attention, it then now causes you to have issues with parenting, because now you trying to teach your child something, or you're being overprotective, or you're being underprotective. You know, there's so many different, all these different stressors we kind of talked about. If you can't do nothing about it, you know what I'm saying? It does affect it. So that's why I said we never had the chance to get past that, because for me, I feel like it got passed on from generation to generation, because people, you know, we like you talk about with sex. How do you start off? You start off with the basis of what you already know, right, and then you learn from there. Well, but at what point are we gonna get to stepping the fuck up?
Well, baby, I mean, I want to dive in, add my little 2 cents if I can, baby.
Please.
So back to the comment about coming out of slavery, just like coming back from war. In those slavery days, we didn't have the tools in order to understand what was really going on with our mental health, right? But now, coming back from like Desert Storm, we all afforded these same tools. Do we use them? No. But are they there? Yes. You know what I'm saying? We choose to learn or educate ourselves on what we choose to want to learn and educate ourselves on, right? You know, if you, and for the most part, especially black men, I can speak on this. Black men, we don't spend enough time on building us up because we too busy trying to provide for others. So we missed the mark on that, right? Another thing, another one that said insomnia. When we mentioned insomnia, absolutely, lack of sleep can cause delusional grandeur. But what, like we were talking like earlier about dementia, right? You know, that's a form of mental illness that's prevalent in our society. Doesn't matter if it's urban or minority versus hierarchy of high society, right? It's there, you know. Baby also mentioned dieting, not having the educational purposes of knowing what you should and shouldn't eat, what you need in your body and what you don't need in your body. That's why these days you have a lot of people going to this eating clean phase of their life, you know, like cutting out pork, you know, cutting out, you know, canned foods, going to more fresh food, growing it in their own garden type stuff, you know, getting more natural, taking the processed stuff out of your hair and going natural, even in your hair.
Color it, but
you know, all that stuff plays a intricate role on changing your health, your mental state, your health, in all actuality. But I want to ask this question, or 2 questions I want to ask to the people who's watching. Do you think a person who has an addiction to sex, a sex addiction, do you think that could be a basis of mental illness? That's question 1. Question 2 is, when you mention mental illness, what famous person in your mind you identify with? You identify that had it, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Baby, she mentioned, who'd you mention, baby?
I just thought about Michael Jackson.
Right.
I don't know if he was diagnosed or anything, but I just feel like he went through a lot of.
Hey man, he wanted to be like what's her name, Diana Ross, right? He said, well, in the movie that's what he said. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what he said.
Don't put words in that man.
But in the movie, that's what it said. I brought up Donny Hathaway, right? Because he was diagnosed with schizophrenia.
Oh, see, and that's why I told him I ain't know.
You know, so that was the first, when I thought mental health, that was the first person that came to mind, you know. What if you have, so my next question after those 2 questions was, what do us as minorities do?
Wait, You gotta get we got Jesus Christ.
I'm going through the motion, baby.
But you got
flowing, ain't it?
No, that ain't flow.
I'm sorry.
I mean, you gotta talk about the first question.
Okay, let's talk about it.
What did you say? Repeat it.
Well, what did I say, baby?
I don't know.
You wrote it down.
No, I didn't. Because you said it so fast. Like you finna go to number 3.
Yeah, I'm going to number 3. Let me back this thing up.
Right.
So
the second part, I got that on who's the person. But the first part, it went so fast, it didn't make it. It didn't even go together. That's my baby. My baby was riding Toyota. My baby.
I'm going through emotions, man. I got to think about this.
Well, you got to slow it down.
Slow down. Well, I'll get back to that though.
All right. So how can mental illness affect relationships? Definitely with the sex. Him asking about it, do you think that...
Oh, yeah. So talking about the sexual... thank you, baby. You was right on. She knew exactly what I was going. She thinks she's slick right here. And she wanted to pull out a rabbit hat, but then she got it. But we talking nymphomaniacs.
It's not about a nymphomaniac.
Sex addiction.
Sex addiction.
Sex.
But see, ultimately... to have an addiction is a form of mental disorders. It's a form of mental disorder, basically. And it could fall into different categories, you know what I'm saying? One could trigger the other. But because we know that mental health, there are addictions, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then some people gamble, some people, whatever, whatever you do that takes control of you becomes the addiction. So, but it's a feeling that it's that euphoric feeling. You're trying to release oxycontin in our brain. Isn't that feel good drug that our brain automatically releases? Or is it serotonin? Which one is it? I can't remember.
Right.
The brain releases it naturally, like when you have sex, right? That's why I say you should be responsible when you're having sex, because there are things that are psychologically happening to you other than just the physical.
Well, touching souls is what I do. Ding!
Ding! So, anyway, yes, it definitely endorphins, but it's something else that it releases. I want to say it's something oxycontin. Oxycontin is in it.
Oxycontin? You want to go with straight drug, huh?
No, I mean, but dead serious. The brain releases it.
I think neutral.
It does. It does. It releases it. But anyway, our bodies releases these things. But anywho, yes, so now with sex, like, we wonder, like, that girl that was in the neighborhood or that dude that
she got to have it. Serotonin. Total.
Yeah, see, and that's why I was like, I wasn't sure if it was the serotonin, but one of them, it's both. One of a combination is something, but nevertheless, when you have sex, find out which one of those which one releases when you have sex. Mm-hmm. Find that out. Type it in. All right. You too can be typing it in. You too can be typing it in. Mm-hmm. You got it. You got a whole tool. I done hooked my boy up, y'all.
Oh anyway. Yeah, I'm on the.
And he don't even know what to do. He just like.
I'm still looking at the phone like this is what I do.
Anyway, sex, because he the one always talk about sex. You know what I'm saying? But it can be an addiction. You know what I'm saying? To some people, why you think there's a lot of prostitutes out here? There are a lot of women that they have multiple partners in one day, and they're not necessarily prostituting. They really enjoy having the sex. Now, granted, it probably stemmed from a traumatic event, a traumatic circumstance that led to the body prematurely releasing that serotonin, that euphoric feel-good feeling in their body. Even though it was traumatic, it did trigger something that made them feel accepted by an individual. And so when they're going through life wanting acceptance, they found that having sex was their tool. So now they're addicted to the acceptance, which in turn, how do I get this acceptance? They're equating acceptance to sex.
Oxytocin.
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 Look, I told y'all I would get.
She bought that drug life. She bought that pill life.
It gives the same feeling though. It gives the same feeling.
I got you, man. I just want to tease you a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, I was in the O's, right? I told y'all, hey,
you were close.
That was
leave it to our what's it say? Top fan.
All right. You deserve it. That's why I said look it up, because I know I went crazy. I just had the wrong O, but it's an oxy, and I know that it does what I needed. It was supposed to do. Anyway, so that answers him with can it be an addiction question with regards to sex. Hell yeah, it can. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you see it was here pre us, and it's gonna be here.
So.
And
So my next question, baby, is since us as minorities don't like to go to get counseling or seek help for our mental illnesses for the most part.
Don't say that.
What would you say then?
I'm just ask the question, period.
So what do we do? What do we do to mask the obvious? What do we do to mask our mental illnesses?
What avenues do blacks take to seek counseling?
Not seek counseling.
Yes. How do they seek their counseling?
Okay. How do they seek their counseling?
What are they using to seek counseling when they need to take it? They got something, they want to talk about it, talk their problems out to someone or to do these things. What is it that blacks do?
Personally, they use drugs. They go in, smoke a little weed, drink a little excessively, pop a pill, these Molly things now, ecstasy. They mask their true feelings, instead of dealing with the reality of whatever the situation may be, they like to mask it by
overcompensating it with
drugs,
drug usage, and the sex,
and the sex addicts out there,
All right.
Releasing that oxytocin. I think she like that. She said, "I hate the word." Damn.
I probably should have just asked my future pharmacist, and she would have been able to tell me.
Real educated, like, well,
but I don't want to ask her about what drug is released in our brain when they're having sex.
Get on Facebook.
Some people self-medicate. Get on Facebook for validation sex. Right. Well, for me, my thing, what I thought. So look, I'm gonna say it. Instead of seeking professional counseling, blacks go to church.
Did you go there? Yeah, we go there.
Yeah. They won't go seek counseling, but they're going to pray their way through. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with praying. Prayer is good.
Why do I imagine, baby? Why do I imagine this right here? Somebody going to the church and say, "Hey, man, you see this guy? I see a guy over there in the corner. Release him, baby."
Right. We gonna just all stand around and pray over him. Pick that man up, take that man up, and give him a bath. Because, see, first of all, faith without works is dead. Mm-hmm. So praying with no action does what? And then, see, we need to get to the root cause of this situation. I'm not trying to, because, see, when you take these issues to the church, I'm just going to be real. You probably going to have to spend some money. Okay? Just saying.
I mean, then you got to ask yourself, are they really well equipped to be able to handle
your situation? Yes, you paid to go get counseling from a trained, licensed professional.
Spiritual professional.
This is what they are trained to do. Okay, they are they mutual, non-biased. They don't have no motive other than to help you, right? And at least help you understand yourself better. And they're going to take religion a lot of times out of it. Because I'm just going to say this, in my opinion, religion is part of the problem.
Why
did I say that?
Yeah, I want to know why, baby.
Because if it wasn't for all these various religions, okay, we gonna keep this in house. That's when it starts, shit gets swept under the door, because everybody know Uncle Junebug is a pedophile.
But I don't know.
But grandmama and them was protecting Uncle Junebug, and they would rather chastise the girls and the boys from, why you over there? You know you don't supposed to be over there. Why you got Junebug at the house anyway? And then you're going to take him to church like you're going to pray the pedophilia out of him.
So,
he got an addiction. He need to go get some counseling to find out, because y'all probably going to find out that your brother molested Uncle Junebug too, which you probably already know that.
By Uncle Junebug. I got you. But here's my thought process. I'm not disagreeing with you in any aspect of what you just said. But only the fact is, if he's a pedophile, I don't see that. I don't see where that is from the church per se.
I ain't saying it's from the church. I say they taking it to the church, and the church is praying that we gonna pray that this don't happen no more. Okay, when the reality is, the person at the church is probably one of the main sources to the sorcery. They know what you call
sorcery, pelvic sorcery, pelvic sorcery,
to the bull crap. I mean, I'm just saying, and this is all black churches around the world. Y'all know 5 people in there right now.
Why do I?
And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
You ain't gotta be sorry, because that's why we say the best for last, right?
The bigger the church, the more the damage.
So I'm not
smaller the church. It showed up going down.
I'm not telling people not to believe, not to be a believer.
Oh no, believe what you want.
What I'm saying is, if you believe in God, if you are a believer, if He gives you the tools for your own salvation, why not use them, right? He put a doctor in your place in order to help you whatever doctorate they have, right? So if he's a doctor of medicine, that's what he knows. If he's a doctor of psychology, that's what they know. If he's a doctor of
religion, that's what he do. That's his area of expertise.
But do not, it was a story I learned as a cat. It was a story I learned as a kid, right? A Bible story I learned as a kid, right? It was about this guy who was preparing a feast for God, right? He prepared a feast for God, and he was in hope of God to show up. And God said he was going to be there. So a homeless man knocked on the door, right? And when the dude comes to the door, no man, get out of here. I prepared a feast for my King, my Lord and Savior. You're not it. I can't deal with you right now. This homeless man came 3 times. But when he sat there and he realized that God didn't show up, he asked God, why didn't you show up? And God said, I came 3 times. You denied me.
All right.
Right? So he had to go back in his mind and search it out and think about it. And what does he mean? Well, it was that homeless man that showed up, because we don't know how he's going to present himself. So what I said that to say is, if the tools are there to be had, if he puts a doctor in your way, or he puts somebody in your way to help you, and you're gonna deny it because you want to be, or he's a secular man, or he's a secular person, he doesn't believe what you believe in, so you're not going to hear the words that's coming out of his mouth because you don't believe in that.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. You got to separate your religion
for the reality
from religion from your beliefs, because just because you believe something does not mean, now unless it's a cultural thing, in certain cultures, certain religions, it's against it, certain, like I'm just saying Muslim, there's certain things from a cultural perspective that you cannot do, Jehovah's and so forth. But so there's in-house councils and so but the sad part is those are the very, not no offense to no religion. God knows I'm not saying that. But every time you have isolation within the different religions, those are the very issues that continue to become a spiraling, out of control thing. And even to this day, you can be walking, driving down the road or whatever, and you see so many people subjected to various mental illnesses. And you start asking yourself, where's the family? But somebody got money off of these people. You know what I'm saying? Because they could have. And then if they put them in the facility, in the, what they call them, convalescent homes, or put them in the different homes, all they do is dope them up some more. They like test subjects and all that. And then it's just like so it's just, how do you control it? Well, no, I don't want to say control it. How do you manage it? First of all, talk about it.
Right.
With a paid professional. And don't deny your child
not just
the understanding of if you do have a mental illness, because there are functional mental illnesses.
I would add this though, baby. Mm-hmm. When you say paid professional, a paid unbiased professional.
Well,
because hold on, and the only reason why I'm saying that is
there's laws with, now if you're paid a psychiatrist or psychologist, they can't be. They sign an oath for that.
You can sign an oath all you want, but if you don't. For example, I'm just using this as an example, maybe a far-fetched example, but I'm going to say it anyway, right? Well, you are a psychiatrist, but deep down inside, you are homophobic, right? So, are you more in depth to, if a gay person or a lesbian or whatever come in to your establishment and paying for your services and sitting down and talking to you?
I'm inclined to strongly believe.
I got you, but could that exterior?
No,
maybe. Okay, I'm just.
You signed up for this, and you've taken an oath. You cannot discriminate. You cannot. You definitely don't want to be discovered later that you are against one of those things. That is the quickest way to get your license.
But you gotta prove that. But you gotta prove that.
It can be proven. It can be proven.
Okay.
You believe me. If they want to prove a case, it can definitely be proven.
It's no different than what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. Like you was talking about the loves about them getting married. First biracial couple to get married.
Interracial couple.
Interracial to get married in 1967. You know what I'm saying? If they don't accept it, believe it or not, was bias or what do they call that? Racism. Racism is prevalent now. Mm-hmm. And some people, and with this right to be able to deny services, period, especially here in Florida, right? You're not service and don't have to have any justification behind it.
Right.
So it's your word against theirs. Right? Mm-hmm. So it's like I just didn't I didn't feel it that day. You got to prove that they're racist. So how would you prove that? Well, first of all, if you are on my plan, you are a provider
on my covered plan, okay, and I've scheduled to have, multiple appointments with you, and you have denied it, and then I go and get one of my opposite race friends or whatever to go and schedule the same appointment, and you see them. Now we got an issue, and you're gonna have to prove, not me. They're gonna have to prove with their board of whatever they call it, board, on why didn't they get me into my appointment, but yet someone that I know basically got the appointment. Same issues, same everything. So then now you have a means. And then if they do it to you that easily, they have probably done it before. So what's now going to happen is when you get a lawyer, they're going to be digging into certain cases. Now, they can't necessarily get names per se, because of HIPAA, but there's things that they can definitely can get.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, there's certain aspects. Yeah, I killed it for you. There's certain aspects where it's kind of hard to understand, and you might get denied the services because who your color of your skin, your sexuality, how you look. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We laugh about this and we joke about, like, certain comedians laugh about, damn, you ugly as fuck. Some people may not want nobody who ain't beautiful in their show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to go there.
but and listen, it happens. What I'm saying is people's biases are real, right? And they can dictate to the masses. That's what a certain group out there, the alt-right group, is one of those groups who's trying to dictate to the masses that, we need to take this back to make America great again like it was back in the day.
Well, that's why numbers are, people are powerful in numbers. You're stronger in numbers. So you use those numbers, obviously, for whatever your purpose is, that's your desired outcome. That's how you sway a decision in any way. That's why I'm saying if it was a situation with a mental health counselor, psychiatrist, psychologist of some sort, that, I go in and I'm trying to get, not me, but, a person go in and they can't get this appointment, but then someone else come in, then they'll, then there's probably a trail of discrepancies already where a case could potentially be proven. Yeah. So if you want to find people dealing with something, you can definitely find that in church, because that's where we go to deal with our problems. But okay,
lay them at the altar.
but it's whatever, But what's the solution? You're dealing with your problems in a congregation, amongst a congregation of 300, 1,000 people.
But see, that's where the skepticism come in, right?
So, but how do you get your problem resolved? What's the solution to going to church?
The solution is you are seeking an avenue or a thought process in order to cope with said issue. So, like the Bible, you read the Bible, there's certain stories in the Bible. One of these stories may identify with a situation that you're going through now. We all had that friend who like to justify whatever sin they doing by using a phrase in the Bible. Like for me, it was always, well, hell, if Solomon can have 1,000 wives, why can't I keep on fucking? You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying that. I mean, there's no right or wrong to it. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. It's just when I see this and I'm thinking, wow, this is where we still are. It's one thing to go because, that's what you believe and you feel good. It makes you feel good because really you feel good most of the time, right?
Right.
But is it really solving your problem?
Or for, I'll give you another example. So you are diabetic, right? And all of a sudden they're like, the church is going to go on a fast. Knowing damn well you need your insulin. You going to go on that fast? You know what I'm saying? Damn near die because hey, you want to be a part of this damn fast. Like, we got to be smart about this thing, ladies and gentlemen.
And they need to be advising you as well when they, we gonna do this. First of all, don't ever do a fast without already have done a proper detoxing
or diet
of your body or anything like that.
I know somebody who tried to do that.
Make sure you do actually go to seek
keto.
Your physician's advice
right
before you do some drastic changes to your life.
Right. Like I knew somebody who tried to do the keto diet and it definitely didn't agree with their body at the moment in time. And they almost died. You know what I mean?
Right. Trauma drama returns. Make America great.
Listen.
Seek a professional. Find one that works. Church folks talk. I don't care what they say. Exactly. I mean, now it's one. Okay, let's say you go to the church for a recommendation because there may be a member in the congregation that could be a referral. They have a practice. I would not personally recommend it. Why? Because kind of what they said, people do talk.
Right.
But at least there's a avenue that for referral purposes, okay, let's go to, brother, sister, mother, somebody.
So, you know what, baby, you're right. So, we all laughed tremendously at that one clip video where the old lady gets up and she was talking into the mic. They was at the church and she was talking about how she used to suck dick for money. You know that you remember that. But here's the truth about this situation, right? It says you go to church as you are, right? And you giving your testimony as it is. Who is somebody to dictate how you present this? You present it at the level you know how and allow the message to be heard. The man, she started talking. Dude was like, whoop, take the mic away. For what? Somebody need to hear that.
See, but if
somebody need to hear that. Somebody needed to hear all of that. Because they were sitting in the back of that church, turning tricks. They needed to hear it.
Somebody in that church at that moment
was like, hey, this is me. And I'm living it. And they doing it. They may not doing it on the base level.
Right.
Like she was, they might be high dollar crime. And listen, this coochie good, and he gonna drop this $200 off on me before we even get to the business. You understand? He gonna take me out to dinner, to a movie, and do all these things. I already know I'm gonna give him the pussy, but he gonna pay for this. I'm just.
All right.
We going off. We going left field.
Yeah, going on. Come back. Come back. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up. But if you have anybody that catch this later, okay, we would like to hear your thoughts on how can mental illness affect relationships, what experiences you may or may not have had with mental health issues. If you would like to share it, if you have a personal story, and you want to remain anonymous, you can always hit us in our inbox, or you can email us at buddhaandbaby@gmail.com. You can also, we want to know your opinion on why do blacks don't seek counseling from a
professional,
licensed,
unbiased,
licensed professional Just saying, why do blacks and the reason why we're talking about blacks because we just have to keep it real. Okay, we black, number one. But when I was doing some homework from the scholarly articles, it is totally documented that African Americans are less likely to seek mental health counseling, but they do, however, go in for drug counseling.
Well, because
part of that is probably court ordered because they probably did some shit and they was high.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying.
I get it.
That's what the numbers are saying.
But if you go in for drug counseling, then it's already too late, right? You already then tried it your way for so long to mask the obvious. Right.
Well, but my point I'm making is
now you added another addiction onto your problems.
Well, but the point I'm making is, had they gotten the counseling, psychiatric counseling that they needed pre-drugs, or if someone would have said, "Why are you on this drug? Why are you shooting up heroin? Why are you smoking crack? Why are you doing these?" I mean, I smoked weed for recreational purposes.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
I did. You know?
I'm glad you mentioned that.
But I don't know nobody that's addicted to weed.
But hold on. You ain't got to be addicted to weed.
Just saying.
All I'm going to say is this. It's a difference between smoking weed for recreational purposes because you want to heighten senses or lift your mind, elevate your mind to a certain point to think on a different plane.
A downer, but go ahead.
Well, whatever. Or
know your drugs.
Or you smoking weed to mask, or smoking weed or doing any drug to mask the obvious. You know, those are different ways of doing it. I'm gonna smoke weed because I just want to be here in this moment. I'm gonna do these drugs, smoke weed, whatever. I'm gonna do these drugs because I have a serious issue at home and I just don't want to deal with it.
Right. Yeah, whatever your reasoning for the drug. That's why, whatever it is you do, whatever your reasoning is, that's fine. But to deal, when you have a true issue and you're doing something because of the root cause, you have to actually get how do you deal with the root cause? You got to start at the baseline. And that is getting it together. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we'll definitely revisit this, and hopefully we're gonna bring in a licensed professional.
Right, unbiased. I like to say it just cause.
Yeah, we're gonna bring in somebody that way we can definitely get your questions answered and so forth. And we may end up, if we don't get them on live, then we'll probably just do a audio recording. And you'll just be able to hear their version of what their experiences are and just information just on as far as from an interview perspective. So, all right. You got me ready?
Oh, yeah. Once again.
Good night. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all the new people. Thank you to the old. Y'all continued support is always appreciated. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, next week, same time, same energy. Boom Boy Entertainment.
I just wanna chill and vibe. Baby girl, keep it real, no lies. She said she's 21, I said